Hello and welcome to the Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup for Australia. We're here with the first lap of qualifying at the moment. We were getting held up a lot here, but you know there's not much you can do with qualifying. You can try your best. Yeah, this guy is just losing it a bit. We were able to go for a decent run for the first out lap, but we do get held up behind this guy Youngie in the Mazda Tenza, pretty much almost the whole way. As you'll be seeing here, we'll catch up quite easily to the Mazda Tenza in front, and from here we're basically just going to get held up everywhere. Just until this moment where he just goes a bit too wide. We go around him, try to be safe about it, in low fourth. So we think we're just going to continue from here, but he decides to dive into us here. And now I've got this guy like battling me, so I deal with that. I noticed this guy on the left in the Lamborghini just coming out of nowhere. He hits the brakes a little too late, but that's fine. We take off down the straight here, keeping up quite easily with this Tenza, even though they've been pretty powerful down the straight. We catch up around this corner as well. We catch up down this corner as well into the chicane, out into the last corner, exiting onto the second lap, and we're right behind Youngie again, it seems. And if he just let us have a chance and go in front, it would have been good, but that's okay. We bump draft him a little bit to give him a little more speed instead of just fighting against him trying to overtake. We could have tried to overtake there, but it just wouldn't have been safe. But there wasn't much that's going to happen there. We're on to lap 3 now, where we get hit out of the way here by Weasel. We took it as an accident at first. We thought, it must have been a mistake. For some reason, again, people trying to overtake in the worst places during a qualifying session. So it's a little messy. But there's not much you can do but continue trying. So we continued from here. We couldn't do anything on that lap, so we jump onto the next lap, hoping we'll do okay here. We were pulling quite well. That's why we caught up to both Weasel and Youngie here in the Mazda Tenzas. Then we noticed Weasel here slowing down. We're like, okay, maybe a mistake happened there, and he's not going to try too hard on this lap. Maybe he's going to let us by. So we tried to go around the outside here. I didn't want to take the inside and be too greedy. He just drives into us here, and we break a little late there because we're a little distracted by why he's ramming into us. We try to think, oh, maybe it's just a mistake again. So we continue on our way. We make it down this straight, and obviously full throttle down the straight, taking the slipstream. We notice he's slowing down again. We got to go to the right. We notice he goes there. He's just weaving all over the place to stop us. He's straight up just trying to ram us and play dirty, it seems. He brakes early there on purpose, so we take the inside. He drives straight into us again, and then as well on the exit. So it was just a terrible show of sportsmanship there. There's not really much you can do when people are that bad in the game. But we did our best, even with not really being able to pull a qualifying lap. We ended up in 9th because we didn't really have any sort of a chance. We were held up from the very start and then rammed out of the way at the very end, losing 3 laps to that one guy, Weasel. So we get off here onto the first lap. And we're pulling pretty well. We are catching up slowly already. We get onto the next set of corners. Skip over some of that. because it was just, we were in the same position there, but we ended up catching up here. Clearly catching up. He looks like he tried to just hit us there with his rear end and try and knock us out, which was kind of odd, but we ended up almost taking ourselves out with that touch just to the grass there. Just touch the grass a tiny little bit. Someone loses it out there, and we end up going up into 8th because of it. Now we're just down the straight, full throttle, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up to this guy again. He seems very dangerous, and he seems to be weaving as soon as you get near him, left to right, and it's very unsafe. There's not much you can do about it, but just try not to hit them, right? Because in the end, the penalty system in this is just not going to work the way it would in real life. If you hit somebody while you're behind, you're more than likely going to get the penalty, and the person in front is more than likely not going to. You can see here, like he's just trying to stay in our way the whole time, defending too much and losing against the front. His 6th is just pulling away, and he wants to fight against us rather than work together. So we're gonna have to try and get by him. We realized he broke a lot there, so we were on the brakes real hard, just trying to make sure we don't hit him. Slid out a bit because of it, but it's all right. It's nothing too bad here. He ends up going a little too wide here on the exit of that corner, allowing us to get into 7th finally, and now actually being able to try and pull. So we skip over a few laps onto the 6th. Nothing really was happening there. We've got the dude just behind us, real close. It's been a decent battle with him and I until this moment here where I just went a little too wide ourselves, and he was going to have it. So we kept the outside here for the hairpin, and he was going to go for the inside. He accidentally taps us, but it wasn't anything too bad. I think it was just under the braking. He might have hit the brakes a little too much, or while he was turning. But he got that. He puts his hazards on, I'm guessing to apologise. We put our hazards on to acknowledge it as well. Like, it's okay, it's fine, things happen, right? We get onto the next lap here, onto the 7th lap, but nothing was really happening on that last one. We were just staying just behind the dude here. And so it's still not over, we're still battling it out. Still a pretty fun race. We get down onto the straight here, full throttle, doing the best we can. Our hazards are still on, letting each other know that we acknowledge each other. But it's alright. We really cut it there. We really cut that corner there. I think we get a penalty for that. Yes, we did. We get a half a second penalty for that. We did cut the corner just a little too much. Didn't mean to. We just hit the brakes a little too early, and I think a tad too much as well. You only want to tap the brakes around there to help your corner. And we thought it was pretty much over to try and go for 7th at this point, but we're obviously going to finish the race as you do. You're going to race the race until the end, and because you never know what could happen. All it takes is one mistake like that, and you're able to get that position that you thought you couldn't get. So we got up into 7th because the dude was just going a little too wide there, making a little bit of a mistake. And we get around here quite nicely. Nice and safe. Hoping to catch up to 6th, but we go a little wide here. And for some reason at that point right there, he got a 2-second penalty. It may not show on the video right now, but above him was a 2-second penalty, and we really weren't sure why. I didn't feel him hit me. I didn't feel any of that. I don't really know why he got that 2-second penalty. If he did tap us in the sliders, they didn't do anything. So that was very confusing. And you'll notice at this point, we'll get our half a second penalty, but we're going to pull in front of this guy because he has a 2-second penalty. So at that point, I'm thinking to myself, like, cool, we got into 7th, but we're probably going to go for another one anyway. And I kind of felt terrible, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to chuck my hazard lights on, I'm going to move to the left here, slow down, and just let him take that position and just continue, because I felt that was wrong. I don't know why the penalty system came up like that and gave him a 2-second penalty that way. He thanks us with his hazard lights, and we finished the race in 8th. We shouldn't have really had 7th. The only reason why we would have is because he got that 2-second penalty, which he shouldn't have had. But we'll get into the last race here, the race where we actually did pretty well. It was still a crazy race. It seemed like we were just stuck with a lot of terrible moments in racing. The qualifying was pretty much the same, which is why we started where we were. Not that much different. We're in 7th, so we're going to do our best. We jump up here about almost at the end of the first lap. Nothing too much happening in the first lap. He had a penalty, so we got by him, able to get up into 6th, which is perfectly fine. But John here up in front of us just seems to be on the brakes a little too early after this lap. Just it's pretty perfect there, on the brakes nicely, on that timing, and quite nice exit out of that last turn there. Straight onto the second lap, and powering through to the first turns. So we get through the first turn and we catch up quite significantly. We see 2 people go super wide, and we're able to get up into 5th, past Aspo as he went just too wide. The brakes a little too late there, it seems. We move up into the end of the second lap, and we hit the brakes a little early, and we still went into the back of John, which we were surprised about. Like, we didn't mean it, of course, and I'm sure he didn't mean to hit the brakes too early either. It was just a clear racing mistake, I feel. And but the worst part about that is we did get a 2-second penalty, and at that point we thought this was pretty doomed for anything higher than 5th here. But we'll see what happens, because anything can happen in the race, and a 2-second penalty may be pretty severe for what happened, but we're going to do our best, right? So we get around here nice and smooth, still keeping up with John. We should be able to be passing him, but overtaking's not easy. He's been racing quite nicely. It's been a pretty good battle. Been enjoying it quite well. And we'll get up here, move out of everybody's way, chuck our hazard lights on, and take our penalty. Take off and move in as soon as everyone's out of the way. We don't want to move in front of somebody that's going 200, 300 Ks, and we're only going like 100, 150. That's just going to cause an accident, right? But we get straight back up into 7th, as the GTR there was just not able to keep it around that corner, just sliding out completely. It's terrible to see, but it definitely happens in almost all races. It'll eventually happen. And it seems to happen again down here on the 4th lap, and we're able to get up into 6th because of it. Another person seems to have lost it here. Molesi in the Mazda Atenza, as it seems to be pretty much everyone just jumping in the Mazda Atenza to be doing this race. There has been a few different cars, but not too many, to be perfectly honest. As you can see, another Mazda Atenza in front of us. We are in the Mitsubishi Lancer, as these two are fighting it out, battling it out, but John just wasn't able to keep that, so Cat was just able to get by, so he got by there. And now it's just a 3-way battle, basically, throughout this 7th lap, trying to stay on their heels, trying not to go into the back of John, because he does seem to be hitting those brakes a bit early here and there. It seems to me he's under pressure. So yeah, he also slows down a bit too much, and we just slightly tap him there. Luckily, not getting a penalty, nothing too bad. Didn't push him out too wide or anything. We get through these set of corners here quite nicely as well. But it's been a great battle. It's been super fun. Get up into the hairpin here, and we brake early to make sure we don't go into the back of these guys. We all take the hairpin, practically about the same, keeping decent distance between each other, about a second of each other. We get here, and he just didn't brake as late as us. We didn't expect him. We didn't expect to go into the back of him, of course. We only just tapped him, but we sadly got another second penalty, and that really made us think that secured our 5th place, and we were basically stuck there, and we were going to have to serve that on the last lap. So we're going to have to do our best here and try and move up or something. try and save our position there. So we push and we almost lose it. Somehow we save it there. We keep it, but we're able to keep up with these guys. And sadly, John just loses it off that curb there. It almost looked like the curb just spat him out, and we were able to get up into 4th. And since he was pretty far, we are able to keep that 4th on the final lap, luckily keeping that 4th. We were very close to getting into 3rd in this race, but we thought this was pretty good. It was a great race with some cool, awesome battles, some crazy crashes, and some decent points from 4th. So we're really happy with this race. It was really good. We ended with this one in 4th, waving that steering wheel around, and it was great. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, please hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.